there, fellow dog lovers. Have you ever looked at your dog doing something completely ridiculous and thought, what in the world is going on in that furry little head? Don't worry, guys, I've been there like 1,000 times. That's why I'm so excited for today's video, because we're diving deep, like scuba diving with sharks deep, into the minds of our canine companions. We're talking 10 hilarious dog behaviors that will make you question everything you thought you knew about these furry weirdos. Like, seriously, why do they do the things they do? But here's the best part. These aren't just random guesses or old wives' tales. Oh no, we're going full-on Bill Nye the Science Guy up in here with actual research and expert observations. So buckle up, Buttercup, because it's about to get real weird, real fast. Grass roll. Okay, first up, we gotta talk about the classic dog move that never fails to make me laugh. The epic grass roll. You know what I'm talking about, right? Your dog is happily trotting along, minding their own business, and then bam! They hit the ground like it's a slip and slide made of pure joy. They writhe around, legs flailing, rubbing their faces and bodies all over like they're trying to become one with the lawn. And you're just standing there, leash in hand, wondering if you accidentally adopted a furry, four-legged washing machine. But guys, there's actually a method to this grassy madness. Turns out, our canine pals inherited this behavior from their wild ancestors, and it's all about scent. See, in the dog world, smelling like a fresh bouquet of roses isn't exactly a good thing. They want to blend in with their surroundings, especially when they're out hunting. So, rolling in grass, dirt, or, God forbid, something truly disgusting, is their way of masking their own scent and covering themselves in the smells of their environment. It's like their version of camouflage, except instead of looking like a tree, they smell like your freshly mowed lawn. And apparently, it's pretty effective. Studies have shown that a good grass roll can actually make it harder for predators to sniff them out. Who knew, right? So next time your dog turns into a furry tumbleweed, just remember, they're just channeling their inner wolf. Tail chase. All right, next up we have a behavior that's equal parts hilarious and perplexing, the infamous tail chase. We've all seen it, right? One minute your dog is chilling, the next minute they're spinning in circles like they're trying to break the land speed record for butt sniffing. It's like they suddenly realize they have this amazing, wagging appendage attached to their rear end, and they just can't resist trying to catch it. And the best part? They never do. It's the ultimate exercise in futility, and yet they never seem to get bored. But why, oh why do they do it? Well, like most things in life, it's complicated. Sometimes it's just pure, unadulterated fun. Dogs, especially puppies, are full of energy and they love to play. Chasing their tail is a great way to burn off some of that excess energy and entertain themselves. Other times, it can be a sign of boredom or frustration. If a dog isn't getting enough mental or physical stimulation, they might start chasing their tail as a way to release pent-up energy. Think of it like their version of scrolling through social media for hours on end. And in some cases, excessive tail chasing can actually be a sign of an underlying medical condition. So if you notice your dog is obsessed with their tail to the point where it's interfering with their daily life, it's always best to check in with your vet just to be safe. But for the most part, a little tail chasing is nothing to worry about. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. The head tilt. Okay, let's talk about one of the cutest dog behaviors known to humankind, the head tilt. You know what I'm talking about, right? You're going about your day, talking to your furry best friend, and suddenly they freeze, cock their head to the side like a confused puppy, and give you this look that just melts your heart. And you can't help but wonder, what are you thinking right now, little buddy? Well, good news, everyone. It turns out, those adorable head tilts aren't just random acts of cuteness. They actually serve a practical purpose. See, dogs use their ears to navigate the world around them, just like we use our eyes. And when they tilt their head, it helps them better hear and understand the sounds we're making. Think about it. Our ears are positioned on the sides of our heads, which helps us determine the direction a sound is coming from. But dogs' ears are much more mobile than ours, and they can swivel around to pick up sounds from all directions. So, when they tilt their head, they're essentially adjusting their audio equipment to get a clearer signal. It's like they're trying to fine-tune a radio station, except instead of searching for their favorite song, they're trying to decipher the meaning behind our nonsensical human babble. And you know what? I think they're doing a pretty darn good job. Digging for dummies and dogs. All right, let's talk about a behavior that's a little less cute and a little more, oh my God, my yard. I'm talking about digging, that time-honored dog tradition that has been the bane of gardeners and lawn enthusiasts for centuries. We've all been there, right? You step outside on a beautiful sunny day, ready to enjoy your meticulously manicured lawn, and then you see it, a giant gaping hole right in the middle of your prize-winning petunias. And you just know, deep down in your soul, that your furry little landscaper is responsible. But before you go full-on Hulk on your poor pup, let's try to understand why they feel the need to channel their inner excavator. See, digging is a natural instinct for dogs, hardwired into their DNA from their wild ancestors. Back in the day, dogs relied on their digging skills for survival. They'd dig dens to escape predators, create cool spots to sleep during the heat of the day, and bury food to save for later. And even though our domesticated doggos don't have to worry about hunting for their next meal or outrunning a pack of wolves, those primal instincts still run deep. So when your dog starts digging up your yard, they're not trying to ruin your life, though it may feel that way sometimes. They're just following their instincts and engaging in a behavior that's as natural to them as breathing. Barking at their reflection. All right, let's talk about a behavior that's equal parts hilarious and slightly concerning. Barking at their reflection. We've all seen it, right? You walk past a mirror or a reflective surface with your dog, and suddenly they come to a screeching halt, hackles raised, barking their little heads off at what appears to be a canine doppelganger. And you're just standing there like, dude, chill out, it's just you. But your dog is having none of it. They're convinced that this mysterious stranger has invaded their territory, and they're ready to defend their honor, and your home, to the death. But why, oh why do they do it? Well, it turns out dogs aren't exactly masters of self-recognition. Unlike humans, who develop the ability to recognize themselves in a mirror around the age of 2, dogs don't really have that same level of self-awareness. So, when they see their reflection, they don't think, oh, hey, it's me. Looking good, buddy. Instead, they think, who's that handsome devil? Wait a minute. I don't recognize that tail. Intruder alert. Intruder alert. A guide to canine contortions. All right, let's move on to a behavior that's near and dear to my heart. Sleeping in weird and wonderful positions. I'm talking about the kind of positions that would make a yoga instructor weep with envy, or maybe just plain confusion. I mean, seriously, how do they even get their bodies into these positions? And more importantly, how do they manage to stay asleep? It's like they're trying out for Cirque du Soleil in their sleep. But here's the thing, as bizarre as these sleeping positions may seem, there's actually a method to the madness. Dogs sleep in a variety of positions to regulate their body temperature and feel secure. For example, if your dog is sleeping curled up in a tight little ball, they're probably trying to conserve heat. On the other hand, if they're sprawled out on their back with their legs in the air, they're probably trying to cool down. And if they're sleeping with their back pressed up against you, well, that's just their way of saying, I love you, human. Please don't leave me. Butt sniffing. All right, let's address the elephant in the room, or rather, the butt in the face. We're talking about butt sniffing, that oh-so-charming dog behavior that never fails to make us cringe. It's like we get it, dogs communicate through scent, but did it have to be that end? Couldn't they just, sniff each other's ears or something? But as much as we might want to pretend it doesn't happen, butt sniffing is a completely normal and essential part of dog communication. Think of it like their version of a handshake, only instead of exchanging pleasantries, they're exchanging information about each other's diet, health, and even emotional state. A symphony of canine communication. All right, let's talk about a behavior that's both beautiful and slightly terrifying, howling at sirens. You know what I'm talking about, right? You're driving down the street minding your own business when suddenly an ambulance or fire truck comes screaming past, sirens blaring, and before you know it, your normally well-behaved dog is howling along like they're auditioning for a canine choir. And you're just sitting there like, dude, seriously? It's just a siren. But your dog is unfazed. They're convinced that this is their moment to shine, their chance to let their inner wolf loose and serenade the entire neighborhood. But why, oh why do they do it? Well, it turns out dogs howl at sirens because the sound mimics the howling of other dogs. It's a form of communication that's been passed down through generations, all the way back to their wild ancestors. Why dogs eat grass and other culinary curiosities. All right, let's talk about a behavior that's both baffling and slightly disgusting. Eating grass. We've all seen it, right? Your dog is happily trotting along, minding their own business, when suddenly they stop, lower their head, and start munching on your perfectly manicured lawn like it's a gourmet salad bar. And you're just standing there like, dude, seriously? That's grass. It's not food. But your dog is unfazed. They continue to graze contentedly, seemingly oblivious to the fact that they're consuming something that's about as appetizing as a plate of steamed broccoli. But why, oh why, do they do it? Well, the truth is, nobody knows for sure. There are a few theories floating around, but no definitive answer. Some experts believe that dogs eat grass to supplement their diet with essential nutrients, like fiber or vitamins. Others think that dogs eat grass to soothe an upset stomach or induce vomiting. And still others believe that dogs eat grass simply because they like the taste. A case of involuntary canine kicks. Alright, let's talk about a behavior that's both adorable and slightly disconcerting. Kicking their legs when you scratch them in just the right spot. You know what I'm talking about, right? You're giving your dog a good scratch behind the ears, and suddenly their back leg starts twitching uncontrollably like they're trying to kickstart a motorcycle. And you're just sitting there like, dude, are you okay? Do you like it? Do you hate it? I'm getting mixed signals here. But fear not, fellow dog lovers. Those involuntary kicks are perfectly normal. It's called the scratch reflex, and it's an instinctive response to being scratched in a sensitive area. See, dogs have a bunch of nerve endings located in certain areas of their body, like their belly, their back, and behind their ears. When you scratch those areas, it stimulates those nerve endings, which sends a signal to their brain that says, hey, something's touching me. And in response, their brain sends a signal back to their muscles that says, quick, scratch it, get it off, get it off. Why dogs steal food and hearts. Okay, let's talk about a behavior that's both infuriating and endearing: stealing food. We've all been there, right? You're sitting down to enjoy a delicious meal when suddenly you feel a pair of eyes on you. You look up and there's your dog staring at you with those big puppy dog eyes just begging for a bite. And even though you know you shouldn't, you can't help but give in. You slip them a little morsel under the table thinking, just this once won't hurt. But then it happens again, and again, and again. Pretty soon your dog is a master food thief, swiping snacks from countertops, snatching treats from unsuspecting hands, and generally wreaking havoc on your kitchen. But why, oh why, do they do it? Well, it turns out dogs steal food for the same reason they do pretty much everything else, because they're opportunistic little scavengers. See, dogs are descended from wolves, and wolves are scavengers. A love language explained. All right, let's end things on a sweet note with a behavior that's guaranteed to melt your heart leaning. You know what I'm talking about, right? You're sitting on the couch, minding your own business, when suddenly you feel a gentle pressure against your leg. You look down, and there's your dog, leaning their entire body weight against you like you're the only thing holding them upright. And in that moment, you realize that this is what true love feels like. But why, oh why, do they do it? Well, it turns out dogs lean for a variety of reasons, all of them adorable. Sometimes they lean because they're seeking attention. They want to be close to you, and they know that leaning against you is a surefire way to get your attention. Other times they lean because they're feeling insecure or anxious. The world can be a scary place for a dog, and sometimes they just need a little reassurance that everything is going to be okay. And what better way to feel safe and secure than to lean against their favorite human? Well, there you have it, folks. 12 hilarious dog behaviors that prove that our furry friends are even weirder and more wonderful than we ever imagined. I mean, seriously, where else are you going to find a creature that loves to roll in grass, chase its own tail, and sniff butts with such unbridled enthusiasm? Thanks for watching, dog lovers. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more fun and informative content about our furry best friends. And be sure to hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on my next video. Tap the video on your screen right now to discover even more weird and wonderful things dogs do. And why they do them. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Want to miss.